The wind whipped across the rooftop, carrying the smell of rain and asphalt from the streets far below. Neon lights flickered in the distance, but up here, everything felt painfully quiet. A young girl stood near the edge, her shoes inches from the drop. Her hands trembled as she clutched her stomach, where new life stirred inside her. Her cheeks were streaked with tears, her hair clinging to her damp face. She whispered to herself, almost like a prayer, though her words were filled with defeat. No one wants me. No one wants this baby. A broken bar. Maybe this is the only way. Her knees shook, her breath came in ragged gasps, and every passing second felt like the last. She shut her eyes, ready to let go, ready to silence the pain. But then, a voice cut through the darkness. Don't jump. Startled, she froze. Slowly, she turned her head, her tear-filled eyes widening at the sight of a man standing just a few feet away. He wasn't what she expected, not a security guard, not a stranger full of pity. He wore a suit, though the fabric was creased, the tie hanging loose as if he hadn't bothered to fix it all day. His face looked worn, haunted by exhaustion, but his gaze held something powerful, understanding. He raised his hands slightly, not moving too fast, as though afraid she'd slip if he startled her. I know what it feels like, he said softly, his voice rough, like it had carried too many burdens for too long. For a moment, she only stared, her chest heaving, unsure if she should believe him. He looked like the kind of man who had everything: a money, power, a life she couldn't imagine. Yet the way his shoulders sagged, the way his eyes glistened in the dim rooftop light, told a different story. I know what it's like, he repeated, stepping closer with caution, to stand here and think ending it all is easier. The girl's lips parted, a shaky sob escaping her throat. She didn't know him, didn't even know his name. But in that moment, the world no longer felt as silent. Her chest heaved as she clutched the railing, her knuckles bone white. The rain was coming harder now, soaking her hair and clothes until she shivered from the cold, but the storm outside was nothing compared to the one inside her. Her voice cracked as she cried out, you don't understand. You have no idea what it's like to be abandoned like these, a broken bar, to be pregnant and alone with nothing. The man stopped just a few steps away, water streaming down his face, though some of it wasn't Trainer, it was the sting of his own tears he refused to let fall. He shook his head slowly, his gaze fixed on her, heavy with a sorrow she hadn't expected. You think I don't know abandonment? You think I don't know what it feels like to lose everything? Look at me. His voice broke, raw and unpolished. I'm supposed to be a CEO, someone powerful, someone untouchable. But my company is crumbling. People I trusted betrayed me. Every night, I stare at my own reflection and wonder if it would be easier to just a broken bar let go. Her lips trembled. For a moment, she forgot about the wind, the rain, the dizzying height below her feet. She just stared at him, startled by the honesty in his confession. He didn't look like a man who hid it all. He looked like someone barely holding on, just like her. He took a cautious step closer, his palms open as if to show he meant no harm. But then I see you. And I see a broken bar life. Not just yours. His or hers too. His eyes flicked to her belly, and his voice softened, though it carried more power than before. You're carrying hope, even if you can't feel it right now. That child isn't a burden, it's proof that your story isn't finished. You're not finished. Her knees buckled as a sob tore out of her throat. I can't do it. I can't be a mother alone. I can't feed a child when I can't even feed myself. He left me, and no one else cares. The man's heart clenched. Every word she spoke echoed his own loneliness in a different shape. He had lost millions. She had lost love, but the hollow ache was the same. His voice shook as he whispered, then let me care. Even if it's just tonight. Let me stand here so you don't have to stand here alone. She swayed suddenly, her foot slipping on the wet ledge, and terror shot through his veins. Without thinking, he lunged forward, his arms wrapping around her trembling body, pulling her back from the brink. She collapsed against him, sobbing uncontrollably, clutching at his soaked jacket as though she might fall again if she let go. He held her as tightly as he could, his own tears finally breaking free, mingling with the rain. And in that moment, he realized saving her wasn't just about her, it was about saving himself too. The days that followed felt like a blur for her. She remembered the rooftop, his arms around her, the way he wouldn't let go until she stopped shaking. She expected never to see him again, or that he'd simply been a stranger in the right place at the right time. But the next morning, when she woke in a warm bed inside a small but clean apartment he had arranged, she realized he hadn't just saved her life here, he had stepped into it. He checked on her daily, bringing groceries, making sure she had warm clothes, and asking nothing in return. It confused her. Men had walked away from her before, yet this man who seemed to have everything kept coming back. She noticed the fatigue behind his polite smile, the way he sometimes stared out the window with a faraway look, as though battling demons he didn't speak about. One evening, as they shared dinner at the tiny kitchen table, laughter slipped between them for the first time. He teased her gently about the way she piled food onto her plate, and she teased him about his terrible cooking attempts. For a brief moment, the heaviness in both their hearts lifted. Then, as she mentioned her full name casually, he froze, the fork in his hand stilled, his eyes widening. "Wait, a broken bar, your last name? A broken bar, did you say?" Hartley? She nodded, puzzled. "Yes." "Why?" He swallowed hard, his chest tightening as memories flooded back. "Your father a broken bar, Daniel Hartley?" Her lips trembled. "You a broken bar, you knew him?" The CEO leaned back slowly, overcome with emotion. "He wasn't just someone I knew. He was my mentor, the only man who ever believed in me when I had nothing. He gave me my first chance in business. Without him, I wouldn't have become who I am." His voice cracked, raw with grief and gratitude. "And now, all this time later, a broken bar, I saved his daughter without even knowing it." Tears welled in her eyes as her hand covered her belly. For the first time since she'd been abandoned, she didn't feel like a burden. She felt seen, cherished, connected. He reached across the table, taking her trembling hand into his own. "Maybe," he whispered, his voice steady despite the emotion in his eyes, "this wasn't an accident. Maybe saving you was my second chance, a broken bar to honor him. And maybe, just maybe, the family you think you've lost isn't gone forever. Maybe we can rebuild one together." Her tears spilled over, but this time, they weren't tears of despair, they were tears of hope. For the first time in a long time, she believed in tomorrow.